Greetings, Kentucky Go Digital Live viewers. I am so excited to welcome you to this 17th and special episode of Kentucky Go Digital Live. My name is Brooke Whitlow, and I'm the Instructional Technology Coordinator in Hardin County Schools, and I'm honored to lead this show today. We have so many exciting things in store for you today, but first I want to introduce the team that we have today, which is a little light. We've got Elaine Abernathy with us. She is the Technology Integration Specialist from the Cracking County Schools. Hello, Elaine.
Hey guys, I'm super excited. We're all going to learn some awesome tools. So thanks for coming on the show today, guys.
Going to be running our behind the scenes today, and she's also going to be managing the Q&A over in the YouTube live chat. So be sure to drop your questions over there. Introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from. We've got actually our panelists are going to be joining us also on that live YouTube chat. So be sure to follow along. They'll be able to answer your questions or give you some ideas. And so anyway, Elaine's going to be over there. We also have Courtney DeRosset. She is the Chief Information Officer. She's my personal shero also from Floyd County Schools. And Courtney is going to be virtually joining us in the live chat. She's actually not on the Hangout with us right now. And we also have Heather Worrell, who's going to be digitally joining us in the YouTube live chat and also on Twitter. And Heather is the digital learning coach at the Office of Education Technology at KDE. So welcome to Elaine, who's with us live in the chat today, and then the other ones who are joining us virtually. We had a little bit of a glitch this morning. We discovered that we could only have 10 people in this live chat because our Kentucky Go Digital YouTube channel is actually a Gmail channel, not a Google Apps channel. So just a fun fact, we all had a little bit of a learning curve this morning with that. So we're going to actually have our panelists jumping in and out. So before we get started, I'm so excited. I'm talking really fast. You guys are going to have to bear with me. But so for me here, I'm in Central Kentucky. I'm covered up under snow. I don't know about y'all out there, but it's kind of crazy. Like the snow just keeps coming. So last night when the school closings started coming in, it was about 5:30 p.m. Hardin County had just closed, LaRue County closed. We started seeing it all over Twitter, yet another snow day. So we dreamed up this idea to see if we could get about 10 teachers out there to joining us on Kentucky Go Digital Live. We had so much fun yesterday. We wanted to do it again today and have some fun learning here on Kentucky Go Digital Live. So by about 6:30 p.m., we had 13 panelists who had agreed to join us today and share some really cool tools on Kentucky Go Digital Live. So I'm just saying, these panelists, you guys, are amazing. The answer to how is yes. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So if you are just now tuning in to Kentucky Go Digital Live for the first time ever, I want to give you just a little bit of background on like what this is and what's happening, because this is not our first episode. We've been around since early fall, and so I'm happy that you guys are here and with us today. So just real quick, the mission of Kentucky Go Digital and the mission of our live YouTube channel is that we exist to inspire Kentucky educators to create innovative leading and learning experiences, connect us together through social media, live digital events, and conferences so that we can share ways we are innovating and investing in more digital learning superpowers for our Kentucky students. So this whole YouTube channel was born back in the fall from a really authentic conversation that was happening with administrators. And it's really for that reason that the live channel focuses and is dedicated to facilitating opportunities for growth for school and district leaders through digital tools and infrastructures across the state of Kentucky. So with today being snow day central, we really wanted to shift gears and push some of these amazing educators into the spotlight. We've got classroom teachers, we have kindergarten teachers, we have middle school math teachers, we have high school math teachers, we have special education teachers, we have teacher librarians, we have digital learning coaches. We've got you covered not only from Paducah to Prestonburg across the state, but we've got you covered in just about every area of classroom teaching and the classroom experience. So I'm really, really excited. So here's what's going to happen. Okay, we talk on Kentucky Go Digital. You know, I just mentioned we use a lot. We talk a lot about digital tools for infrastructures and big ideas from our school and district leaders. Today, it's focusing on the tools. So we're going to give you a lot of resources to put into your professional toolkit and walk away. So this is going to be really fast paced. If you couldn't tell already by how fast I'm talking, my apologies. And 4 minutes. Each panelist is going to have 4 minutes to share one of their favorite things that has revolutionized their workflow or their classroom or their day-to-day life as a classroom teacher. So if you have any questions, drop them in the live chat. You guys can join us over on the hashtag on Twitter. It's hashtag KYGoDigital. So either of those places will be watching and facilitating your conversation. So be sure to join in with us on that. So 4 minutes. I've got a timer. I'm going to screen share here in just a second. I'm going to start the timer. And, you know, listen, we don't play here. I will be muting them. If they go over their 4 minutes, they get the mute button. And then we're going to move on to the next person. Okay. So be sure to share and drop a question or whatever in the live chat or on Twitter so you guys we can make this as collaborative as possible. Okay. So our goal today is to get 100 live viewers. Elaine, where are we at?
Okay. We have 215 live viewers.
Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I'm so excited. I just got cold chills. That's crazy. Hello to all 200 and whatever she just said, viewers out there. So exciting. Oh my gosh. Okay. So are y'all ready? We've got Stella Pollard, you guys. I have to tell you, Stella Pollard, I'm going to introduce each panelist as they come on, by the way. So we're going to start with Stella Pollard. She is a middle school math teacher in Franklin County. I have a special connection to Franklin County. One of my favorite mentors, Mark Kopp, just became the superintendent over there. And so Stella is a rock star. And I text Mark all the time and tell him how amazing you are. So I'm so excited for everyone to learn from you today, girl. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share. And I'm going to pull up my timer. So Stella, go ahead and unmute yourself and get ready and tell me when you're ready, girl.
Okay, I'm ready. You all today is Screencastify. And if you've not heard of it before, out because it's awesome for teachers, but it's not just awesome for teachers, it's how your students to make magic. So what is Screencastify? Basically, it's a Google Doc. You can record your screen. You're basically endless. Share with you is how to amplify student with some tool with it. All right, so it's ready, set, animation. You can design flip books through the Google Slides. You can reenact. You can model cell division. You can do moon phases, solve math problems, for a word problem in a little way. That's pretty cool. Presentations. We all have these great ideas where we're like, yes, we're going to have our students do these presentations and they're going to be so, and the students work really hard. You're in a week, they're finished with their presentations and you're like, okay, let's, and so I'll go, because they don't want to sit through watching. Or if you let the students just screencast their presentations, like what I'm doing right here, not need of sitting through all of those presentations, and students can actually slow down and learn from their pace to their ability. Reach and enrich. Have students that already have a chance to be are superstars, and then you can talk until you're blue in the face. You just will not learn that concept from you, student. Then maybe the next way, students be the content. let them research and let them do something to kind of show you exactly. You could have the students drop and have them just do a newscast over a historic event, the rise of increasing gas price, maybe a reenactment, or even more. I mean, the possibilities are crazy. Go on a tour. Allow the students to take their viewers on a virtual field trip by using Record. That one's one of my favorites, especially like if you teach science and you can do biomes, or if you teach social studies and you can do different places in the world that you're studying. Screen students and their parents how to use their Google Classroom and all of the things that Google Chromebooks have to offer, or some books. Maybe you have something Mac. And then comes to an end. So that was Screencast for your students. I have shared this resource, a blog post that I've written with the Kentucky Go that they can share with you all, and with all sorts of links and ideas for all clients, but language arts and social studies, and even this as well.
Stella, you're awesome. I wanted to make sure that everyone knew that sometimes if we get a little glitchy, I don't want you to feel like, oh no, I missed out on what she said or he said. Know that all these resources and what these awesome educators are going to share with us today is going to be linked inside the resources underneath YouTube. So don't feel like if you missed out, because sometimes bandwidth goes crazy. But Stella, awesome. I love Screencastify, which is what she just shared, and how it's helped with her different workflow in her classroom and whatnot. All right, Brooke, what you got?
Yay! Thank you, Stella. And also, I'm just a quick plug. I put the pressure on our panelists earlier. Oh, hang on, my timer's going off. Great job, Stella. You beat the timer. So I put the pressure on our panelists to make us a screencast video of the tool they're sharing, so that we can add them to our Create playlist. So now I always like to say that on air, so everybody feels super pressured now to make us a video, so that we can share your incredible resources. So with that being said, let's see who we have up next. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I bet you Allison Gregory out there right now is fired up, because she's got her wonderful teacher leader on this chat that's about to go, Dana Dowdy. She is at DayRenee15 on Twitter. Y'all need to follow her. She is a kindergarten teacher in Graves County, and she is going to be talking about Google Hangouts as an endless tool. So Google Hangouts for all the things. Dana, you are a total rock star. I'm so excited that you are here, and I especially love that you are a kindergarten teacher. I mean, people think, oh, primary, blah, 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 digital tools. So I want you to prove everybody wrong, girlfriend. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, I'm going to start your timer, ma'am.
All right, so like she said, Dana Dowdy, kindergarten at Simsonia. I wanted to share Google Hangouts as a tool in the classroom because I wanted to give my students a global perspective. So the best way that I could do that was through a Google Hangout. And all I had to do was get on Connected Classrooms and just start asking for people, and immediately people start to message you and want to connect. So you set up your time, you set up your date, and you set up your format, because the formats for Google Hangouts is endless. You can do a mystery hangout where you create questions to guess where the other class is from, and we have done that in the past. You can do mystery number for us primary folks out there, where you both choose a number, and then you also do the questions to figure out the number. You can do that with letters as well. This year, I have really tried to at least do a Google Hangout once a month for my kids. And one of my two favorites so far has been a monster hangout, where we have connected with a school district in Arizona, matched up with a kindergarten class. And created a monster. They created a monster. We did ours on Google Drawings, and then we sent directions to each other. And on our Google Hangout, what we did was show our monsters to see how well we followed the directions. And the next favorite tool or way we used Google Hangout was through a virtual field trip. And I get to take my kids to places that I know I will never get to take them in real life. Many of them will not get to experience it in their own life. So we were able to go on a field trip with Geo Show, and we were on air, so we got to be on camera, and we got to go to Plymouth. So my kids got a firsthand look at Plymouth, at the Mayflower, how Pilgrims lived, and they actually got to experience that in a way that I could not have provided them through a book. And the biggest takeaway for Google Hangouts is always prepare questions to ask the other class. So you want to find out where they're from. I want my kids to find out where these kids live, what kind of school day they have, the climate, all the details that go along with hanging out with another class. So we always do a question and answer session at the end, and after we do that, then I'll take them over to Google Earth, because they really, they say, oh, these kids have palm trees, and, they go to school and it's hot all year. So we go over to Google Earth, and that's, the next step. Go to Google Earth, go exactly to where those people live, and, they get a real live picture of those. Spawns further learning, especially for my kids. We talk about different regions, and it really broadens their horizons. And that's like the big picture for my kids, is I want to broaden their horizons. And Google Hangouts can be used for anything. And I'm including 2 Google Slides. One I use with my kids about digital citizenship and how to act when you're on a Google Hangout, because sometimes they don't really know, how to act when they're on this live feed. And also for you to share with teachers, that I've shared with some of our teachers in our district about just how to go about getting on a Google Hangout, and all the different avenues. And I know that there are great ways to use it with book studies. You can have your class and another class do a book study together, and there are tons of different options out there. And the only limit is yourself. You have to be willing to get out there and try it and connect your students as best you can, because that's our job. And I love Google Hangouts. I'm going to keep using it month by month, and I encourage everyone out there to use it too. Thanks.
Love it, Dana. Yes, Google Hangouts, which is what we're in right now. Loved it. Very good, very good. And that digital citizenship.
Oh my gosh! And
go, Brooke.
No, I was going to say, my timer literally went off as soon as she stopped speaking. That was literal perfection. I don't know if you have a timer going over there, sister, but perfect. And that's why I want everybody who is out there watching to go follow you on Twitter. So at DayRene15, DAYRENE 15 on Twitter, because she is always sharing really, really remarkable ideas on using digital tools with primary. So you just can't miss out. There's just not a whole lot out there for primary kiddos and primary classrooms, and Homegirl has it going on. So follow her. Okay. How's it going on the live chat, Elaine?
Awesome. It's rolling. We've got Courtney over there and Heather over there, and we've got Allison Gregory answering questions. And then as soon as our presenters are dropping off, they are also going to answer any questions that you have. So keep them rolling. If you have any questions later on, make sure that you contact us for sure. But yes, it is awesome. Going.
All right. Well, friends, we are ready for our next presenter. We have Kelsey Hayes. She is a middle school teacher. Is that right, Kelsey?
Yep, 8th grade.
8th grade. Oh, that's my favorite. Well, I'll tell you this. It was my favorite age until I started teaching high school, and now high school is my favorite. But 8th graders, my whole middle school career, they were always my favorite group. I love 8th graders. But you are joining us from JCPS. So I better see some JCPS love for you out there, girlfriend. You've got a powerful JCPS tribe. So I'm excited to see what they have. But you are presenting on Google Keep. Is that right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is one of my favorites. I'm anxious to to see where this goes. So I'm going to mute. You tell me when you're ready, sister.
I'm ready. Okay, so last night whenever Kentucky Go Digital reached out to talk about how this snow day special was going to go on, JCPS, we didn't know if we were going to have a snow day or not yet. But I immediately knew that I wanted to present on using Google Keep for student feedback, because as we've switched to Google Tools, I feel as if our students are working faster and teachers are able to give better and more in-depth feedback. However, I also found that I felt like my time was being spent primarily with students that obviously needed the most help, but that I wasn't necessarily giving students that got it or could maybe receive some extension activities more of the attention that they needed. Like my time was sort of being monopolized in other ways. So I thought in terms of giving feedback, there has to be a better, more efficient way to do this versus me typing the same things over and over and over again. Because like I said, I teach 8th grade language arts. So I'm going to share my screen with you really quickly and just kind of show you how I use Google Keep Notes with providing feedback on Google Docs. So I'll see that. Will somebody give me a thumbs up? Okay. All right. So once you would click over to Google and you would go over here to your sandbox, then you would click on Google Keep. I already have my notes loaded in here, but you would have to put some feedback notes that you know that you are always giving students, that you're typing over and over and over again. So for example, if a student is not capitalizing a name and you want to put throughout the document that they need to do that, you can put kind of your standard comments that you give students. And now I'm going to click over to, this is a sample student paper. So instead of me providing comments on every little thing, a faster way that I found to do it is you can go to Tools here and then click Keep Notepad. And what it's going to do is put all of those notes here on the side of the screen. And so whenever I'm going in and I want to provide a comment to a student, all I have to do is copy and paste. So for example, they didn't capitalize, this student didn't capitalize the author's name. So I'm going to hit capitalize throughout document and I will paste that on there. So this just is a quick tool to be able to get through more student papers more quickly and then spend time really giving feedback to students that really need that extra time. So I only have now 80 seconds left, so I'm going to show one other thing. After Google Keep and you're going back and forth with students, there are two things called Doctopus and Goobric that you can use to kind of do the final assessment with students. So I put screenshots here to make sure that I have protected students' identities, but this is a sample paper. Up here, what Doctopus and Goobric does is it puts the rubric that you make at the top of every student paper, and then all you have to do is click on the rubric instead of having a Google Classroom assignment and then either clicking back over to another rubric or working with paper rubrics, for example. And then over here, you can write comments. What it looks like is I've clicked over, it puts the rubric then at the bottom of the student's paper already filled out so they can just go back into that assignment and see it. And then finally, any comments that you write get put right at the bottom of the paper. So not only let me go back to the Hangout here. Not only does Google Keep help you provide feedback more quickly, sort of at the end, Doctopus and Goobric is just more efficient for you as the teacher to provide that feedback.
Oh my gosh, Kelsey, my mind is blown because I have not thought of using Google Keep in that way at all. And they just recently added that feature so that it tied into Google Docs. And now Google Keep to me is one of the hidden gems that it's so versatile that you can just use it for, I use it for to-do lists. And a lot of people have shared in our previous shows how they do it. And each time I'm thinking, I need to do that with it. I need to clean up mine. But you have just given that power to easily, quickly grading those things. And then Docupus is a whole nother show on itself. But yes, that is the rubric and the power. Mind is blown. Remember, every single one of these resources will be all tied into this beautiful episode. But whoa, go Brooke. What's next? My mind is spinning, but yes, I love it.
Well, hey, listen, if you're out there watching and you are new to Keep, you've maybe never used Keep before, we have talked about Keep with Melody Stacy from Kenton County Schools and Taylor Mill Elementary. She has a wonderful segment in her episode on Kentucky Go Digital Live that you can kind of see a little preview of how Melody, Rockstar principal up there in Northern Kentucky, is using Keep also. So we've got lots of Keep resources for you. Hey, look, I've got an extra person here on the Kentucky Go Digital Live team today.
Viv, Google Keep's a game changer. Can you tell everybody that every English teacher out there needs to know about what Stella or what Kelsey just shared? And she's gone. Okay, moving right along. So thank you, Kelsey. You're a total rock star. I appreciate you hopping in with us today. Thank you. All right, so next up, we are rolling on to Stephanie Rathberger. She looks like English/library media specialist. Is that right?
Yep, that's me.
Okay, all right. We're showing some library love today. And you are from McCracken County Schools, representing the western part of the state. So you're going to be showing Marco Polo. I have no idea what this is, so I'm excited to learn.
Okay, awesome. Well, Elaine reached out to me last night and she was like, what's one tech thing that you can't live without? And I was like, well, does this have to be school related? Or can this just be my life? And so my first thought was Marco Polo, because it's something that I think could be awesome for collaboration in schools, but something not a lot of people know about. And so it's actually a smartphone app. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you, because no, my screen glare. It kind of looks like a beach ball when you look at it in the App Store. You can get it on Android, iPhone, whatever. A digital walkie-talkie. It is kind of like the less creepy cousin of Snapchat. So I feel like Snapchat kind of gets a bad rap because it's creepy. It's secretive. Things can like just be gone. Marco Polo is the more professional version of that. So it's a video walkie-talkie where you can make a video, send it to someone else who has the app. They can watch it whenever they want. They don't have to watch it immediately, and it saves that video. The only person who can delete the video is the sender. So I use it right now. A group of women that we're currently planning a women's conference. And so what we do is leader for that day sends out a message. This is what we're thinking. What do you guys think about this date or whatever? And then we all kind of chime in throughout the day. Have time. It's more personal than a text message. And it's definitely just learn to collaborate in a really different way. And I feel like as I wish I could show you on a screen. It's so hard because it's but no, I can't pull it up and make it work. But one of the things I think that this would be awesome for is communities. Like, we are all really busy people outside of school. And so when you're trying to get someone to volunteer for something or give us your opinion, everyone's got a million and two things to do after school. I have 4 kids. When they want me to do something after school, I'm excited to be a part of it because I'm that kind of person. But I don't have time between dance and basketball and cheer and all the other things I have to get to be a part of this community where I could jump in whenever I had time. I can listen to it in the car while my kids are going back and forth from ball practices, and I can talk to it, give my feedback constantly. So it's really cool. It has been really cool for me on a personal level to connect with people that I haven't talked to in a while in a more intimate way than my roommate from college lives in Pittsburgh. I hadn't seen her face in 7 years, and we connected on Marco Polo. We talk every day. And so now I know her kids, and her kids see me every day, which is super cool. My brother lives in North Dakota often, but he talks to my kids on Marco Polo every day. And so now they have this different connection with their uncle that they usually see once or twice a year. Now they see his face every day. So it's kind of a thing personally, but I feel like it could be really, really awesome in a school setting because it frees up to change the way that we get teachers to engage outside of.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
This is what I love about when we get together, we start thinking, so Dana's using Google Hangouts with her kindergartners, and you just showed us a whole new tool that I had no clue, Marco Polo. What if Dana saw that tool and she started using that with her kindergartners, and then she was talking with the class, and then they had this conversation that was that couldn't just happen on the fly, and so they want to share something as a class to this other class that they talk to. To me, this is the way Kentucky O Digital has just, it evolves and we all do it. So yes, Marco Polo to me is an amazing tool now that I'm thinking and starting using, and I bet our hashtag is going to start saying, wait a second, that's very similar to one that we know about, Voxer. I'm not sure if you know about that one, but Marco Polo sounds like something I'm going to be downloading and playing with it, maybe even in the house here, but love it. What do you think, Brooke?
Awesome. Thank you so much. You guys, I just want everybody to know that I'm like experiencing major FOMO over here because I'm running the timer and I've got like an iPad here with our lineup and I can't watch the chat and I don't know what's happening and I just missed the live chat. So you guys don't forget about the Twitters. So if you've got something great that you love, that you're seeing, that you are excited about, stick it on the hashtag too, hashtag KYGoDigital, because that's the only place I can play right now. So you guys hop over there too. Don't forget. So, okay. So our next guest is Allison Langley, my homegirl from Hardin County. She is social studies, high school teacher. She also is the special education facilitator for North Hardin High School. And she is going to be showing us quizzes today. And I swear quizzes needs to start like paying her a stipend because she talks about quizzes all the time. It is one of her favorite tools. So I'm excited for y'all to hear about quizzes from the one and only Allison Langley.
Go ahead and mute real quick there.
I can't hear her. Can y'all hear her? Are you there?
She's just muted real quick. So let's get the Allison.
Do you want me to sing the Star Spangled Banner while we're waiting? I can do that. Oh, say, can you see?
I bet, this happens sometimes with one of my, some of my Google Hangouts. Allison, what if you restart and then you come back in and we can maybe switch the next person? Yeah. You want to do that?
That sounds good. James is in here, so we can hop to James and then we can come back to Allison. So Allison, do just a restart and then hop back in the Hangout, okay? No worries, no worries. So we're going to hop down to our next presenter and wait for Allison to come back in. So our next presenter is also a dear friend of mine, James Allen. He is the teacher librarian and director of the Ed Hub and Eminence Independent. And he is going to be sharing one of my personal favorite things that I absolutely could not live without, which is the Noun project. And if he has time left over, he's going to share about Unsplash. So James, tell us when you're ready and we will get started.
All right. Can you see my screen?
Yep. You're good, James.
Sweet. I'm actually going to start a timer because I have a tendency to go too long. Sorry. So Noun project it's a collection of literally icons, for, like just how it says here, icons for everything. And it's all kind of community shared, like artists are sharing their work here under the Creative Commons license. So you're allowed to use these even without a paid account. Like I have the screen up here that shows the education price, which I paid $20 for. But even without that, you can use these as long as you give credit to the artist that you're using their art from. So the coolest part, though, is that they have all these plugins, so you can insert them into Google Slides, Google Docs, Adobe stuff, Microsoft things. But if you do decide to pay the reasonable price of $20 for an educator, you can use these without giving credit. So it almost becomes like a Creative Commons Zero type license where you can use the content here for anything you want, even if it's in a place where you can't really give credit that easily. So I was going to show you real quickly. Here's I'm in Google Docs right now. So you go to add-ons, get add-ons, and you type in Noun project, and theoretically it pops up. Perfect. So I've already got it installed, but you would just click, add it right there. And then if you do have the educator account, you can log in, and basically anything you can think of, you can type over here. So heads up, this is not probably something you just want to open up to your elementary kids, because there are literally icons for everything, like even adult things. So I think middle and high school is cool, but I get it if you need to restrict that more. But it's definitely a teacher tool, because you can use these icons to create content for yourself, for presentations, for instructional materials, for vinyl cutting, whatever you can think of, you can type over here. So I'm going to type in just snowflake, because it's still snowing a little bit at my house. And then you see like 10 billion snowflakes pop up over here. You can click one, change the color if you have an account, and then you hit insert icon, and then that image is automatically inside of your account in your Google Doc right here. And the same thing goes for Google Slides, which I popped up right here. And I have no idea how much time I have left. Oh, a whole minute? Oh, sweet. All right, next thing is Unsplash. That's the only word you have to remember. And it's another add-on. It's a website. It's similar. It's Creative Commons Zero images, and it's super good photography, and these people are offering their work for free for you to use. You just sign up, and then you can type in things over here like snow, and there's all kinds of cool images, and you just click it, and it's the same thing. The license, you don't have to give credit, but it's always awesome to do that when you're using somebody else's work that is not yours. That's my librarian talk for today, sorry. But it's a super great website and an awesome Google Slides add-on too. And that's it. We can share the links to these later so you all can get to them easily.
James, that was awesome. I actually haven't checked those out. I've heard about the Noun project. I've not seen Unsplash. I literally just had a principal, Lane Cooper, text me yesterday, and he said, Elaine, where do I get all these awesome graphics that I'm seeing you guys share? And I said, I'm not sure, but I know, in the Google thing, when you do the drop down the tools and you want to use things that you have the rights to be able to reuse, that's big, big. And I love that you said that. But this is awesome, because also Cricut. I don't know how many of you do a kind of your Cricut things in your school or even personally at home, but James, I love it. Yes. Thank you. Brooke, what do you think?
No, I was just going to say, James has helped me and taught me a lot just in like graphics and graphic design and things like that. And a lot of, actually the snow day graphic for today, the snowflakes that were on the graphic that said snow day special actually came from the Noun project extension. And 9 times out of 10, when you see something on a Kentucky Go Digital graphic, I've used something from the Noun project. It is just something I use literally every day. So I love it. It's one of my favorites. And there is, I will say that with Unsplash, one thing I discovered with my high school students with that is it was actually being blocked by our domain administrator in the Google, like the admin panel. So when you go into Google Slides and you go to add the Unsplash extension, if you're having students do that, that may be something that you would need to navigate with your domain administrator. So just as something that popped up on my end when I was using it with my high schoolers that we had to kind of navigate around. Really quickly, Unsplash does some pretty heavy filtering. So you're not going to get like adult material there, but you may see like people in
bathing suit type pictures, but it's general, especially middle and high. I would be completely fine with the kids using anything from there.
Yeah.
Elementary
Well,
is a different story, so just keep that in mind.
It was an easy fix. It was super easy, fast. They flipped the switch over and it worked just fine. Nothing, but just wanted to let everybody know that if you go to install that or work with that with your students, that might be something you want to or need to navigate. So just be aware. Before we move on to our next person, I want to bring up something that came up on the hashtag on Twitter. So we've got, hey, good news is we've got audio from Allison. Yay!
Hey, Allison.
Hey, Allison, we'll be back to you in just a second. I want to mention, so one of my homegirls, Whitney York, on the Kentucky Go Digital hashtag, if you are watching live on YouTube, she brought this up that some people may not be able to see the live chat. So she says, hey, Kentucky Go Digital friends, if you can't comment on the live YouTube chat because you don't have a channel set up, click on your picture and then click my channel. After setting up, then you can come back to the chat and participate in that there. So just a quick piece of advice that I totally did not even think about. So thank you, Whitney, for that. So what's happening over there on the live channel? Anything exciting we need to talk about?
I didn't get to check over because I was running through some things, but as you're there in YouTube land, just go ahead and click subscribe, because if you're getting fed today, you're going to get fed more, because we constantly are growing in this world of Kentucky Go Digital. So go ahead and click subscribe. All it's going to do is just make sure that those new episodes that we have and then previous episodes are showing up in your YouTube search page, so that you don't miss out on these awesome things. So go ahead and hit subscribe too. But no, Brooke, I'm excited. Allison is going to show us some cool stuff. What's up next?
So we're gonna go back to Allison. We're gonna unmute her, Allison, and I'm gonna let you take it away with quizzes.
Okay. Anything now? Bless America! It's a snow day miracle. Okay. So let me just tell you guys about quizzes, which I'm kind of sad that I'm following James, because James is actually the one that showed me quizzes at Appy Hour at North Hardin, gosh, probably 2 years ago, and it has been my jam ever since. So here's the thing about quizzes. You know, when you're doing Kahoot with your kids, this is what we were running into. Kahoot is great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking Kahoot, but this is why you're going to love quizzes so much better. So when you're doing Kahoot, what we were finding in our classrooms is, you know, we were trying to find an assessment for kids. Well, the first thing that we were running into was the timing issue. I'm a collaborative teacher, so a lot of my students, you know, with special ed, need a little bit more time reading. And on Kahoot, you're set on a timer. So for one, with quizzes, you can take that timing piece out so that the students do not have to read on a time. And then the other thing that we were noticing is, you know, on your screen in Kahoot, there's 4 blocks. What we were finding is, you know, the kids that were struggling a little bit were just waiting to see what, you know, Susie Smart Pants picked for the answer. And, oh, the purple square, blue, and they were pushing that. So we weren't really getting a true feed on what we were seeing from our kids. We weren't getting an accurate read on what they really knew and how we could go back and reteach some concepts. So we found quizzes, which kind of changed the game a little bit. Quizzes will jumble not only the questions that the students are seeing at a time. So what Elaine is seeing is not going to be what Brooke is seeing, is not going to be what James is seeing. It's all going to be jumbled. And another thing that quizzes does is jumble the answer choices. So even if the students do see the same question, their answer choices are going to be a little jumbled. And this is just a better way for us to gauge what our students really are learning and what concepts we kind of need to go back and teach. Here's another thing that's great about quizzes is you all know how it goes, right? You are doing a lesson and you are being observed by your principal, and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, that lesson that was supposed to take the full 72 minutes has now suddenly just taken 60. What am I going to do with my time? Quizzes has a bank of thousands of pre-done quizzes that you can literally just type in a subject. So like I teach history, I could literally, we're getting ready for the civil rights movement. I could literally go to the quizzes bank, type in civil rights movement, and hundreds of pre-done quizzes are already going to pull in for you, and you can just start one live. It is fully integrated with Google Classroom, so that is a plus. So I'm going to try to share my screen real quick and show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so this is quizzes, and you literally, once you're logged in, let me log in real quick. Super easy, super free, which is even better. And the nice thing about quizzes too, while this is loading, you can take a pre-made test and duplicate it, make it your own copy, and then you can change questions and answers if you want to. Y'all listen, I just got new internet yesterday, and I'm getting ready to have to call the company and complain because look how slow I'm running. But anyway,
You're good.
maybe we'll get this to come up. Anyway, here it goes. Maybe. Okay. You literally can see there's banks and banks and banks and banks, and your quizzes copy over here. It runs reports so that you can see, you know, like the printout will come, what the students did. It gives you percentages, how many students missed this one, how many students got this one right. You can literally just go into the bank and type, maybe, once again, spinning wheel of death. Oops, need an M there, sister.
Whoa.
And it will pull up
a
ton of pre-done tests.
Womp,
so again, you can either...
Look, I'm going to mute her. Bless her heart. She's going to keep talking, and she's just not even going to know that somebody stopped her.
Say, Allison, girl, okay, so you and I, we connected. We're both special ed teachers, and we all have those students in our classes, and they're all of our students. And what that does is takes out that time portion, like you said, and it's drop mic material for some of our kids. They need time to process, and they need time to do that. So thank you. Quizzes. I'm gonna have to check it out. I've never checked it out. Brooke, have you used it?
I have not. Quizzes came around like right after I left the classroom a couple of years ago, and I've not used it with my high school students when I went back into the classroom part-time last year. So I've not actually used this live action before. So, but James Collier over in the YouTube live chat, he says that yes, quizzes can be imported directly into Classroom, and that there's a bank too. And it's really popular. I'm excited I really need to put this on the top of my to-do list to get started with it. But there is lots of love out there for all the tools so far. I think the most popular tool is the fact that everyone has saw James' tuba in the background of his screen. Everybody on Twitter is talking about the tuba. So, you know, I don't know about the tech tools, but everybody loves James' tuba in his office. So
Allison told me, just so you know, on quizzes, I'm sold. Who do we have next, Brooke?
All right. So coming up next, we have Miss Beth Ewing. Did I pronounce that right? Ewing? Is that right? Oh, I can't hear you, girl. I don't have any audio. Listen, we just did this with Allison. It's no worries. You may have to restart if you don't have audio. Try to refresh, and then if that doesn't work, we may just skip you. Oh, there's okay. All right. Well, we're going to skip her for a minute. She just disappeared on me. So we're going to roll on down the list, and well, okay, hang on. She just popped back in. Oh, this is fun. Is she there? Hello? All right, text me, girl. We're going to come back to you, okay?
Go ahead and restart, Beth. You got this. Jamie, guess what?
So, Jamie Chenault, you're up next, sister friend. Jamie is the digital learning coach in Nelson County, and I wasn't sure when she told me what she was going to share. I was like, is that a typo? I don't know what she's talking about. Is this summary? I'm not really sure what it is you're showing, so I'm really excited to learn. Are you ready?
I am so ready. Are we good? Like you can hear me?
You're good.
Awesome.
Ready to go.
All right. So I'm actually going to screen share this whole process. And so summary is something that I just came across, and I thought, man, I wish I had this when I was in the classroom. So I'm spreading some summary love. And then also, like, for master's classes. Oh my goodness, I wish I had that, this tool as well. So as you can see, I am in Google and I'm going to type in summary. And this is why Brooke said, I have no idea what that is or how to pronounce it, because as you can see, it is an interesting way to spell summary. So when you Google that, is a website that goes with this, but we're actually going to go to the bookmark widget. And one thing that I absolutely love are my bookmarks and my bookmark bar. I'm a little OCD, and my Nelson County friends know that when it comes to my bookmark bar. But what you will see when you get here is a link. And what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to click this link and I'm going to drag it and drop it into my bookmarks bar. Okay. So I would have my students do this as well. Same thing, same format as I just went through. So, well, what does this do? So after they get the bookmark of one-click summary, let's say research is huge, especially, well, really at all grade level. Yeah, we are looking up the rainforest information, okay? And so a lot of times we get some articles that are really, 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 really long. And we know that our students either can't read them or will not read them. And that's the same thing with me. Like, just give me a summary of something. Time is everything. So what I can do is I can click on one-click summary, and its magic is going to work. And here we go. I have a 7-sentence summary of this article that I just was at. And if I even want to make it shorter, I can make it shorter and put 5 sentences and reduce it even more, or if I want to make it longer, if I'm looking for more information. So now, one other really cool thing about summary is that it highlights words that reoccur. And I'm like, why in the world would it highlight words? Like, what's the purpose? Like, how could I use this in a classroom setting? Then I got to thinking about main idea, how hard it is for students to pull out main idea. And then I'm like, I could actually use this with main idea. And so I absolutely love this tool. And one other thing that I wanted to show you guys is the fact that you can actually use the read and write for Google Chrome with this. So you talk about some smashing of some tools. So I could come up to the read write for Google Chrome, which is an extension that you find in the Chrome Web Store. Click on that guy, and now it will read it for my students.
The average temperature in tropical rainforest ranges from 70 to 85.
So pretty cool little bookmark tool. And so I hope that you guys can definitely figure out a way to use this in your classrooms.
Okay, Jamie, what was that? Where was that when I was writing papers? Where was that when I was just in the classroom a couple years ago? That tool is extremely powerful, paired with Read Write Gold. And then I'm just going to note that you just taught everybody how to make a bookmark. That is awesome, because there's a lot of people out there that are struggling. They need to know how to make a bookmark and put it on their toolbar. Oh my goodness, mine's blown. I love it. I'm definitely going to add it to mine.
That's
my toolbox.
I was about to say, Courtney over in the live chat, she said everybody over there on YouTube is totally loving this tool. So way to go, Jamie. And
awesome.
I'm over here going, I don't even know what she's showing because I can't watch because I'm watching a timer. So I can't wait to go back and watch the replay and see what in the world you showed. I'm so excited. I know I heard main idea, and so you hooked me with that. That's for sure. So I've always have my primary and intermediate teachers asking for tools about that kind of stuff, and with, writing being such a heavy focus and all. So, okay, so let's try Bethy Pooh, and let's see if Beth she's got some audio. Are you there, girlfriend? No? No, I still don't hear. Do y'all hear her? No. Do you have headphones? Maybe try headphones. Plugging it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you're saying. I'll try to read your lips, but I don't.
Hey, find some headphones and we can skip. We'll just keep moving you.
Yeah.
We'll get you.
Right, no worries. Listen, this happens all the time. This is what you call a live show. So it's all good. No worries. So we're going to roll on down the list to Rebecca. So I know that Courtney, she's over there, you know, probably cheering and turning cartwheels because you're from the same district as our own Courtney DeRosset, Rebecca. And you're right? Rebecca?
Yes.
Okay, you're there. Okay, good.
Okay. I'm going to talk today about GoFormative. So are you ready? Okay. I teach 8th grade math and algebra 1 and coding. So it's a little bit of everything. I'm going to talk to you today about GoFormative. It's a website that you can use. It works kind of like Google Forms. You can go in and create a quiz for your students to complete. I have used this for the past 3 years, and I'm going to do a screen share. I use this with Flipped Classroom, and that's where students watch videos at home of your instruction, and then they come in ready to work. This year, we've done something a little different. So we are doing Summit Learning Program. So I still use it. I use Flipped Classroom and GoFormative. It's just a way to get your students to see where they are, assess them formatively. So I'm going to screen share. Hopefully this works. When you log in, you can log in with Google Classroom. So it works with if you're a Google district, and it works if you're not. When you log in, these are my classes, maybe. Oh, there they are. And you can see it says import from Google Classroom. So you can import your students that way. There's also a class code. So if you're not a Google district, you can have your students log in and then just give them the code, much like Google Classroom. Then you can create as many. You can see these are my classes from the past 3 years. Now up here, there's a Try Premium. This is a free site, and it's been free for the past 2.5 years, but they just recently put a premium on it. And I wanted to be able to show you some data, but what I found is the free version will only keep your data for a month. But the good thing is you can upload it to Google Classroom. Your formative, so these are your quizzes. When you go in, it works like Google Forms. You can create your different quizzes, and there's an option. You can do multiple choice, multiple selection, short answer, essay, show your work. And as a math teacher, the show your work or the draw feature is one of my very favorites, because like this is a rules of exponent quiz, but I have a solving systems of equations where they have to draw the actual answer graphically. You can assign it different ways, and my internet's going to decide to slow down a minute. But you can choose when you assign these things if it's going to be a quiz, right here, assignment type, if it's an assignment, a benchmark, classwork. I mean, you can see it goes all the way down, so you can choose how you're wanting it to count this. You can put in your own graphics. So if you have a picture you want to put in, even a video, you can upload that. And then this is a show your work. And this, I have friends who have used this in a science classroom, in social studies, math. So it works across all grades, across all content. It's just a really nice way to formatively assess your students.
Rebecca, yes. That GoFormative is something that it has evolved through time, and it is getting better over time. And I'm going to charge, Brooke, I'm going to charge some people out there. I'm going to tell them, if they've used GoFormative, get on the hashtag, tell us how you've used it, and what is something that you are finding about this tool. GoFormative has gotten better over time, and one of the things that it has added that the quizzes in Google Forms hasn't added was the ability to draw. So Rebecca, about this tool, GoFormative has gotten better over time, and one of the things that it has added. All right. So Brooke, what do you think?
I'm just so excited.
Rebecca, that's an awesome tool. Awesome share.
Yes. Thank you. I remember several years ago when I first started using iPads in the classroom, I used GoFormative, and it's changed and evolved so much. So I'm really excited to go back and watch Rebecca's screen share on some of the changes, because it's been many moons since I've actually used that tool in the classroom, but I know it was really popular.
And
So,
Brooke, so we have Patricia Sharp that says that it's best for use for math. And that is one of the things that I struggle as a TIS, is getting the math teachers pulled into the digital workflow as well, because they need to show their work. And so, Rebecca, that's a great tool for our math teachers too. Yes. Thank you, Patricia, for sharing. Okay, Brooke.
Okay. All right. We're going to try Bethy. Third time's a charm.
Can you hear me?
Yay! It's another snow day miracle! Yay! Okay. So now that we've got you to where you can talk, now you're gonna be quiet and let me introduce you. Okay, you ready? So I first met Beth at Owensboro back in November, right after Thanksgiving. I went down to Owensboro. Owensboro Independent has a cohort of teacher leaders there that are just amazing. They are wonderful, inspiring, exciting educators. And so I shared a little bit about HCS Innovate with them and some different tools and whatnot. And so the whole time I'm talking about like how I love geography and, you know, I'm a geo nerd and blah, blah, blah. And so homegirl comes up to me at the end, and sure enough, she has a skirt on that is a world map. I kid you not. And I was like, oh, that's my spirit animal right there. So as soon as we started putting this panel together, Beth was one of the first ones that I texted, because I love her energy. She is incredible. From Owensboro Independent, middle school social studies teacher. So Bethy Pooh, take it away, girl.
So apparently the reason why this didn't work is because I don't update my computer. So that kind of shows you how much I like technology. I really love reading. Reading is my thing. I'm a literacy specialist. If you can tell, I'm all about books, and my students would laugh if they knew I was talking about technology, because that's not really what I like to do. But there is this really cool tool that I use with all my students when we need to redo something. And I am going to attempt to show you all what this tool does. So screen share, share my screen. Here we go, technology. This tool that I like to use in my classroom is called Storyboard That. I don't know if you can actually see my screen, but it's really cool, and it allows students to make their own story. It's completely free. You just kind of make your own login. You can use it to define things. Now, the free version, you only get 6 squares. So that's important to kind of realize you only get 6 squares, but it's really, really cool. This week, we're actually going to use it to make storyboards to review the French Revolution. Which is always fun. And they have all these really cool backgrounds and stuff that you can include to add to your storyboard. But if we're being honest, one of my favorite things, and it becomes the kids' favorite thing too, is that you can make your own characters. So while we're reviewing the French Revolution, obviously they'll go and get, you know, old school characters that look like they're from the French Revolution. But if you wanted to do this with your own students, you can just add your own person and kind of make your own story, your own cartoon. And my favorite thing is how customizable your people are. I don't know what everyone else's classroom looks like, but my classroom does, like, we don't all have white hair and white skin. So it really allows you to customize your person and what eyes they are, so students can really kind of see themselves in the storyboard. They really like to play around with it, and I'll tell you the first thing they'll do is they'll make their own character that looks like themselves. And then they will try to put an animal in there, like this corgi. And then we'll all see that there's a giant corgi, and they all like to joke about how giant the corgi is. I was thinking of different ways that I could use this in my own classroom besides for just the French Revolution. And a lot of times we do something called sensory characters. Like we read a story about a kid that is an apprentice to Leonardo da Vinci. And we talk about what Leonardo da Vinci was doing. And then we do something called a sensory character that's like, I see, I feel, I touch, I smell. So I could have my students go in here and create their person and use all these different scenes and these cool ideas to be like, okay, I am in US history and I'm in an Eskimo village because obviously it hasn't stopped snowing for 5 days. And then I would say what all I do in my storyboard. So that's basically all I use for that. And it can be used in lots of different things. We summarize books this way. We redo chapters. We can put ourselves in history just so students can see themselves as part of history and learn empathy. So even if we haven't ever been across the world, we could put ourselves in someone else's shoes and say, this is what it's like. So that's just one of the tools that I really like to use, and students really like to play around with it. So it's just one option.
I love it. I haven't gotten to play with it, but I love it, and I'm excited, Beth. Jeez, I want to go back and collaborate with some teachers and use this and thing. So I'm definitely going to tweet this out and email this out to our teachers and let them know that this is something that they can have their students to create in the classroom. Sure. What do you think, Brooke?
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say we had a comment coming in from Stephanie Beach, who says she can't wait to use my Mammoth Cave skit in 5th grade. I think that was for Storyboard That. I remember, I have heard of this before, Beth, and I don't think I've ever actually used it. So I'm really excited to go back and watch the replay and explore this a little bit more. So we also have another one, Courtney DeRossa, bless her heart. I love her so much. She's over there on YouTube, like sending me quotes and text messages on my phone because I'm experiencing FOMO and can't read them myself. So Michelle Handigan, what a great way to inspire students to write their own story. Thank you, Beth. Rebecca Clark, great for summarizing sequencing or point of view. And I just want to say we are still holding strong at 237 viewers on our live channel. Like, are these teachers not absolutely amazing? I'm just saying. So I'm so excited. This is so fun. This makes me want to do this like every day, all the time. I'm just saying. So, okay. So we're going to move right along. Thank you, Beth. You are amazing. Thank you for sharing. And by the way, I'm sorry I got your title wrong. I thought you were a social studies teacher. It must have just been like that social studies like vibe I was getting from you.
I am social studies. I just got my literacy specialist degree. So yay.
Gotcha. Okay.
For literacy specialist.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Beth, for sharing. I appreciate it. So I hope you're not distracted by the child in the background. Okay. So, so anyway, we're rolling right along to Casey. Casey, tell me how to pronounce your last name, sister. Sawyers? Is that right?
Salyers.
Salyers. Okay. And you are a 5th grade teacher from Johnson County. So you're over there on the eastern part of the state too, right, girl?
Yes. Covered in a blanket of snow.
Oh, aren't we all? I'm just just saying, woo-wee. So we've got you, Sharon, about classroom forums, NTI days. If I had a nickel for every time I have seen the NTI acronym in the past 24 hours on Facebook, I wouldn't need a job. I'm just saying. So I know we've got lots of teachers out there who are really curious about what you're going to share. So whenever you're ready, take it away.
All right. Hey, everyone. I just wanted to share with you just a few ideas that I have that could help you out. Just try to make it more seamless for you as an educator keeping up with the NTI days at home, or for the students, a more seamless way for them to be able to do their assignments. So I'm going to try to share my screen. I've created just some screenshots of some things just to keep some confidentiality here. All right, so I'm going to explain to you a little bit of what I would call a mash-up between Google Classroom, Screencastify, and Google Form. So what I like to do for my NTI days is create my lesson on Google Slides. You can make the lesson as interactive as you want to, create all of the information. I always like to say, pause to take notes. That way my students can
interrupt you. Are you showing something? You're black right now, and I want to see what you're saying, what you're talking about. You're good. We saw it for just a moment, and then so try to maybe reshare real quick because we want to see what you're talking about.
Okay, let me try.
That timer, Brooke. She's getting.
Let me try it again here.
I see you.
Okay, screen share. How about now?
I can see it now. You're good. You're good.
Okay. All right. So like I said, you can make it as interactive as you want to. I always like to have the students to pause and take notes. And then once you have your Google slide, you can use Screencastify. I know someone had mentioned Screencastify earlier. That's solely for like a Google Chrome. Screencastify can be used across internet browsers. But once you have your Screencastify on, you will launch the recorder. If it asks you to download it, you may need to do that. You will hover this screen over top of the presentation that you're wanting to share, and you would press record. At the end of the recording, it's going to ask you to share to YouTube, or you can go on and download it. I always like to download it onto my desktop and then upload it to my YouTube channel that way. That's not the only way to capture your lesson. You can also use different apps. My favorite app to use is Edu Creations because it will download it to that MP4 format. Any other app that you can find that would download to that MP4 format will let you upload to YouTube.
Hey, Casey, real quick, go ahead and push that button again to screen share because we just missed that Screencastify, but you're going to share all that stuff in the resources too. But go ahead and try to re-screen share because I want you to be able to share this next tool.
Okay. I don't know why.
Yeah, you're good. Now I see it. Oh, now it's gone. Oh, no. So.
Oh, Lord. Okay, I'm just going to keep on going. Anything on the apps will let you draw on it. Great for math, great for science, great for putting in those pictures. And then what I do is I take that video that I've uploaded to YouTube and I embed it within a Google form. I turn my Google form into a quiz, and I'm able to put my video in there. A Google form can then be shared within your Google Classroom. I like to use Google Classroom for my NTI days just because it is universal. They can use it on an app. They can use it on their desktop. Anything that the students have, they're able to get on there and use it. And the good thing about using a Google form is that at the end, after you've collected all of their responses, it's going to show you their responses, and you're able to pick out, did they meet mastery? Do they know what they're talking about? Based off on the data that a Google form would give you. Within Google Classroom, I also like to organize all of my NTI assignments by a topic so that the students can just click on topic on the side, and all of the NTI Day assignments will pop up for them. It's just a good way to keep up. And on the educator side, I always like to put in all of my assignments, save them. That way, whenever it's an NTI Day, click send it out, and it automatically just attaches it right to the Google Classroom.
Casey,
So-
that's awesome. You know, you even pulled it through. You've got some awesome things that you showed, even though we couldn't see your screen sometimes. Where, like I said, those things are going to be in the resources. But so for those of you, she shared Google Classroom and Forms and how in NTI Days. But we have a viewer that says Tori Martin says that she loves these creations, edu creations to explain everything. But this tool that you just showed is not just good for snow days, but for any reason that a kid is outside of the classroom. Yes. And this is something that I'm trying to get to work with some home health teachers too. So yes, that's powerful tools right there. And then also those topics in Google Classroom that are new. That's a important tool to use too. What do you think, Brooke?
Yes, I love it. Thank you so much for that. I also want to sorry, I'm distracted by 807 devices and a child drinking my water and braiding my hair. I mean, you know, this is what multitasking looks like, and I'm not very good at it, to be perfectly honest. But anyway, so I wanted to mention we've got Whitney York again. Whitney York, where you at, girl? Oh my gosh, she's got another great tip that just showed up on the hashtag that I wanted to mention on the live show. So there's lots of conversations happening. There's conversations on the YouTube live chat. There's conversations over here on Twitter. And one thing that she just suggested is to search for the Kentucky Go Digital hashtag and to just browse that hashtag on Twitter and make sure that you are following those of us who are engaged in this conversation to really build your PLN across the state. So, and also on my Twitter, I have a Kentucky Go Digital list that you can actually subscribe to. And I think Elaine might have one too. When I see a new person tweeting on the hashtag, I try to add them to that list. So you can subscribe to that as well. But be sure to follow and build your PLN because, you know, I know all of these educators on our panel, myself, Elaine, Courtney, Heather, we can all testify to the power and impact of Twitter, you know, changing our life. So thank you, Whitney, for that reminder. She's also one to follow. She is W_York on Twitter, and she's pretty rocking. So, all right, so we're going to roll on to our next. We've just got a couple more left for you. So we've got Joanna Stevens. She is a high school math teacher from Lincoln County. Super sweet. You're one of my favorite people to follow. You might not realize this, but totally Twitter stalk you because, you know, it's sometimes when you see people and you read people's words, we were just having this conversation the other day, and you're one of those people that I feel your energy like through your words and through your tweets, and it just makes me happy to see you on our Kentucky Go Digital hashtag. So anyway, love you, girl. I'm going to go ahead and mute, and you get started when you're ready, ma'am.
Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. So I'm on NTI day number 6. So my students have their packets at home, but I've tried to send them also a digital option every day. So I've used Albert, I've used Quizzes, I've used Google Forms. And when I got to day 5, I made my first EdPuzzle. And so I'm not an expert. Yesterday was my first day. That's what I wanted to share. I actually learned about this tool at our summer regional Kentucky Go Digital conference. So shout out to Scott for sharing that with us there. I'm going to screen share what it looks like screen. So the nice thing about EdPuzzle, as well as a lot of the other tools that have been shared, is it all syncs to Google Classroom. It syncs my rosters, so I don't have to add my students, and then as soon as I make an assignment, I can post it directly to the stream on Google Classroom. So it's nice. Students don't need another login. I don't need another login. So this is what it looks like on my end. I can see all my classes and I can see the assignments that I've sent. So this is the one I made yesterday as a student, so I can see what it looks like on their end. And for this one, I've made a video that I use Screencast to make. And it's just me working through some math problems. And then there's 3 checkpoints throughout. And the students see some multiple choice questions. So you can add 1 question. I added 6 right here. They can go back and watch the video if they need to see my notes again. You can also add an open-ended question, or you can just add a comment. So there's some different options for adding your questions, but the students get feedback immediately. So that's why I've tried to use these electronic options on NTI days, so students don't have to wait till whenever we go back. They get that feedback right then. This is a video I made. They see how they did. It tells them immediately if they got it right or not. On my end, list of their names right here. And then shows me if they've watched the video. So I made mine. They didn't have to watch the video. If they didn't need it, they could just skip right to the questions. So this shows which percentage of the video they watched, questions that they got right. And then over here on the right, I like this feature. If they really bomb it, if I know they didn't watch the video, they didn't try, I can resend it to them, go back and look at it again. For individual students, I really like this feature. I can click on each one individually and I can see what portion of the video they watched and how many times they watched it. So for this student, I can see she really focused on those middle questions. I can see how she did on the individual questions, but then I also have the item analysis for whole group. So I really like the data presentation that I'm getting with EdPuzzle. So for mine yesterday, I made my own video. I had very specific content I wanted. So I uploaded a video from I made it with Screencast, uploaded it. But if making a video is not your thing, you can find one on YouTube. You can find one from another source, upload it, and then you can edit it. You also have the option that when you do that, so you can take out the beginning, the end, whatever you need. So the crop feature is really nice. Something I really like is they have a ton of sources that are already made, and they look nice and they are organized wonderfully by subject, by course, by topic. But I'm really excited to use this. EdPuzzle was great for my NTI days. I think it'll be great for subs, also for students that are absent or students on homebound. And then also just for flipping my classroom on a normal day, differentiating at its finest. So thank you again to Scott for sharing this summer, and I'm excited to keep using it.
Joanna, that is one of my favorite tools, but you've taken it to a whole nother level, and I love it. But I want to point out that Lou Carter said that the tool that Casey just shared and the tool that you just shared are going to be awesome. And you said it at the end for the students that can't be in class because they're home health or home hospital. But EdPuzzle is great for NTI days and for any other day, but you took it to a different level because I had never really thought about going. I was just doing YouTube videos and then putting in just to kind of make them watch the YouTube videos, but you're making a video of what you're teaching and then you're putting the questions in. I love it. I love it.
Yes, it's wonderful. Courtney, over in the live chat, she said people are losing their minds over EdPuzzle, loving this tool. So I don't know. Maybe you just mentioned this, Elaine, but Allison Gregory said, bam, we have 2 one-to-one classrooms that this can connect. So I love the energy over there. And thank you, Courtney, for continuing to retype the messages from the live chat into a text message to me. I really appreciate it. So thank you, Joanna. You're a rock star. Be sure to connect with Joanna on the Twitters and all of our other panelists because you don't want to miss what these amazing teachers share on Twitter because they're amazing. So have I said that? They're amazing. These teachers, they're amazing. Have I said that recently? Okay, well, they're amazing if so. All right, so we're rolling on, y'all. We're rolling on. You know, we planned for this show to be an hour, so we're doing good. We're doing good on time. Only about 30 minutes over or so, with more still to come. I hope y'all are loving it out there. We still have like 200 and some odd people watching. So I'm hoping y'all are having fun hanging out with us on this snow day and stuff. So, okay, we're rolling on to Mr. Scott Dossett. I had the opportunity to hear Scott this summer at Ed Camp, Kentucky, and he is a true rock star. And I feel the same way about math teachers that I do about like primary teachers. There's just not a whole lot out there who are really using digital tools. And I have had several teachers in my own district, math teachers specifically at the middle and high school level, who say, okay, show me somebody who's doing this well. Scott Dossett, Joanna Stevens, Chastity Gregory. These are all math teachers that I always direct people to. So I actually, and Stella Pollard, she's another one. I just responded to Dr. Newcomb, I think, on the hashtag, and I tagged all of those people in it because she was asking specifically about math tools. So Scott, you're going to share. Oh, and Scott's from McCracken County, by the way. So welcome, Scott. And you're going to share a tool that you actually shared this summer with us that I'm absolutely in love with. So take it away whenever you're ready, sir.
All right, Scott, make sure you unmute real quick.
Yeah, that's helpful. So I would piggyback with what Joanna said, that EdPuzzle is awesome, and then I'll move on to mine. As was mentioned, I'm a math teacher, and everybody's always excited about math. Not at all. But sometimes students are kind of excited about math, but the ones I tend to get usually are not. And so I'm constantly looking for ways to increase engagement, to get students a little bit more involved in what's going on. I do have a flipped classroom, and so that is another kind of thing that you have to account for. And I try to use things like EdPuzzle and things that will keep the kids involved both at home and in class. One of the things I came across actually was suggested to me by Elaine Abernathy, and that was Deck Toys. And Deck Toys used to be in beta, it was completely free. Now it has both a free and a pay component. If you choose to use it in the free aspect of it, then you can go ahead and use that. It is have some limited functionality, but it's still pretty cool. I am huge, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and see if that works. If it doesn't, somebody scream out loud and let me know. Let's see if I can switch over here. I am huge on like narrative. I'm constantly trying to find ways to keep kids engaged over the long term. Games tend to keep them in the short term. I'm trying to keep them in the long term. So Deck Toys is huge with the ability to do that, to include interactivity and to include some content creation. A lot of stuff here. If later you want to watch and pause that would be great. Let me go ahead and get right into what an example of Deck Toys. This is your dashboard. It kind of shows all the stuff you've created. And I'm going to jump right into one I did at the beginning of the year. This is from a kind of an introduction that I did for my classroom. And if you'll see, I'll go ahead and preview it and you can look at it. This is the student view over here on the right-hand side. And over on the left is the teacher view. And it kind of gives it this, this video game format. It looks like a video game. They click on things, they interact with things. As they do that, it checks off and you can see where you're at and what you're doing. We'll just click on this one here. Here's an example where I've embedded a video, and you can then give them a question and they answer the question, and whether they get it right or wrong is highlighted there, and they can close their activities. And then it moves them through this process of whatever you want to do at their own pace. So it's really kind of convenient. I like to use it to narrate and to work our way through our individual units. Deck Toys is really something I can't cover entirely in a 4-minute video. It's such a powerhouse of tools. On the one hand, it's great for things like organizing a unit, creating small little lesson vignettes that you might like to share that have some interactive components. It allows you to embed and to integrate pretty much anything you want to do, from some of the things that have been mentioned already, including quizzes and screencasting and GoFormative. Anything that has a link can be either linked to or embedded here. So it kind of forms a kind of a gateway to anything that you'd want to do. It is available across all current devices. Some of the older devices my kids have had a little bit of a struggle with, but whether it be cell phones or tablets or laptops, it has proven to be pretty versatile in displaying across all those different things. Again, it's great for flipped and blended classes, especially where you have one-to-one. I'm going to show you one other thing here. these individual, I'll pull up another kind of a deck that I have set aside. What you can do is actually integrate activities into these. And so here's one that I put together just real quick for something that I could show. Here's an example of the individual screen where you create your lesson. You can create your activities, but it comes with, and this is the toys aspect of Deck Toys, comes with all these different games, and you create a study set. So here's my study set with my variables and my words and my definitions, and then you can create any kind of game that they have listed here, from say a spin the wheel kind of a game where they play kind of Wheel of Fortune, to a match game, to where they are drawing.
Oh, it makes me sad. I hate dropping the mic on somebody, like pulling down the curtain, yanking them off stage. It really hurts my heart. I am way too non-confrontational for that kind of thing. I'm so sorry, Scott. I had to cut you off, sir. Forgive me. But is anybody with me? Like, I could sit and listen to Scott present all day. Like, he has such a good speaking voice and clear, and I don't know, Elaine, he doesn't say like or like we do 8 million times. Right?
I'm working on that, Brooke.
I know. Well, I flap my arms and I don't know. I don't have a very, professional speaking voice, but Scott, you definitely have that going on. Also, this is a really amazing tool. So I love it. Elaine, what you got, girl?
Whitney York just said on YouTube, she said that she loves that these are gamifying education. And so Deck Toys does gamify. So yes, totally agree.
For sure. Okay. So we have, thank you, Scott, again for sharing. Be sure to connect with Scott on the Twitters. He is S_Dawson.
He's also going to be at regionals. So we're going to talk about that here in a minute. So make sure that you get to his session in regionals that's going to be coming up. So stay tuned to those dates here. But yes, Scott, he's going to be presenting in regionals. So lots of these educators will probably be presenting on some awesome stuff. So we're going to get to that in a little bit.
Awesome. Okay, so we have one more presenter. So James, this is where you say we saved the best for last, right?
Let's hope so.
Okay. So we've got Mr. Collier, and he's so funny. Like he popped in earlier. His Twitter avatar is his classroom. So he popped in earlier, and I'm like, hey, I recognize that classroom from your Twitter picture. So he is a total rock star on a snow day there in his classroom. And James, you are representing high school math from Greenup County. Way out there in Eastern Kentucky. That's like northeastern Kentucky, right? I've been learning my Kentucky geography, doing our graphics for this snow day special. So you're going to be talking about Hangouts. So whenever you're ready, sir, you take it away.
Well, when I changed over to a digital classroom, I got to do this about 3 weeks through the school year this year. And Greenup County High School, the district as a whole kind of jumped on the entire thought process and said, let's make this happen. So I was able to flip my classroom from a paper-based classroom to a digital classroom with the inclusion of 34 Chromebooks. And by doing that, it allowed me to bring that digital technology to my students that they really thrive upon. And the amazement of the students, along with me as well as a teacher. But it also turned up the requirements of, okay, what else can I do to keep these kids engaged, make it fun for them to learn? And as we got toward the end of the first semester, I came up with a great idea using Google Hangouts as a study session. So we spent the 5 days leading into the final exam reviewing all 36 topics that we had covered at some point throughout the semester in a very kind of hit and miss type of deal. Here it is. Here's a quick example. Okay, we've got to keep moving. But what I offered to my students, I gave them 2 sessions. I had 1 hour. It was 3 days prior to the exam, and then a 2-hour session the night before the final exam, to where my students could log in through Google Hangouts and they could ask any questions that they wanted to do. And all I did was I simply put my computer in front of my whiteboard at my house, and they could log in. They could do any type of problem that they wanted. I would put up different examples different techniques for them to be able to use these problems. And in the process, then I could give them examples and let them work them out on their own. The nice part is that when they got stuck, all they had to do was simply turn their paper that they were working it out on onto their camera. I could see where their mistakes were, give them a little bit of encouragement. But the fun part was that at one point, I had 12 students in the room at one time. And that allowed them to work with each other. And it's one of the things in my classroom I really try to push for is I want my students to help each other before they ask for my help. Because when they're teaching each other, they're actually reinforcing what they're doing. So it made it a lot of fun. And the nice part is that it gives them multiple options. And this is my big kind of platform that I've gone with since going into Google. It gives the students that think they never have a voice, a true voice to speak up with, because now they can actually respond in a chat room. They can speak up when there's not 30 other of their peers sitting in the same classroom. And in some aspects, it even gave me an opportunity to work one-on-one with a certain student who was really struggling with the material. The responses I saw back with this was amazing. The students really loved it. We've actually included this in this semester to where we're going to do it before each exam. The one thing that I did run into, and this is one of the things that I'll leave you with, when you create the Google Hangouts chat room, you can do it through your school-based email. But one thing to note is most students' school email accounts will not allow them to connect to Google Hangouts. So they will have to use their personal email account, a Gmail account, whatever. Just make certain that when you start your Google Hangouts, there's a little tool at the very top of the corner. It says, make this viewable to anyone, so that public outside of your school-based email accounts can get into that chat session. But if you haven't used Google Hangouts, I certainly suggest you try this out. It's a great tool, and I'm certainly ready to take it to the next level, because I'm going to be using Google Hangouts on air to start recording my in-class lectures that I can then post into my stream in Google Classroom. So those kids that miss days at school, also my kids on homebound, it's like they're never outside the classroom. They're sitting here every single day.
James, I love it. Actually that to me, the power of that tool, and then to putting it out there, it just expands everything to make it so kids can stay after school, but yet, or even on a snow day or whatnot, but you're having these hangouts and the kids can ask you questions and interact. It's just, yes.
Well, and the fun part is that they could actually go and come as they chose. So they could work on a problem, leave, come back. During the time session that I gave them, it made it so easy for them to get in and out.
Do you remember, James, this is like totally off, but do you remember like calling homework hotline or something? See, I'm from Louisville, so I've got this weird twisted everybody else, but I used to call a homework hotline when I had questions for math problems. So this takes it to a whole nother level. And
welcome to the
I don't know if you remember homework hotline. Am I the only one by myself that used to call homework hotline? But that was back in the day. I'm maybe aging myself here and dating myself. So, but Brooke, what do you have? I loved it, James.
I was going to say, Courtney said, well, first of all, totally unrelated. Everyone loves your minions on the YouTube live. Everybody's digging the minions and Mr. Collier's math class. So, but also we've got, let's see, Stacy Spears. I know she's out there with you. She's the technology integration specialist there in Greenup County. And she said, again, students seem to ask more questions on Hangouts than in class. And Katie Newton said it's a great place for book discussions with parents as well. I will tell you that, it's no secret for anybody who knows me, even like just remotely, that I'm really, really bad at email. And it just like, it's just like you constantly get buried. It's just emails and I just can't ever get ahead of it. I have a new workflow system for the 2018 year. So we'll see how that goes. But Hangouts was a solution for me that, it pings me right on my watch. I can just, respond. I have a flow. Like I don't know, for some reason, Hangouts just works better for me in that respect. So just something to mention on Hangouts, though, if you're watching with us live, if you are wanting to use Hangouts with your students, might be something that you encounter is blocked at the student level and from the student subdomain. So again, this is just a conversation that you're going to want to have with your CIO or your whoever is responsible for managing your Google Admin Console. And, you know, let me just tell you that in my role as instructional technology coordinator in Hardin County, I work with our technology department, but I also work with teachers. And so I kind of see myself as like a liaison between the two departments. And I just want to say, just from having that perspective, don't be scared to reach out to your CIO or your admin, the person who's in charge of that console and managing those permissions, because the thing is that console is so massive that they might not even realize that something is turned on or turned off even for students. And so reaching out to them and having that open dialogue and collaborating together with your technicians and with your technology department is absolutely crucial when you are using digital tools in the classroom. It's just, you know, don't be scared and don't badmouth them and say it's, you know, oh, it's blocked or arg. Because again, you know, you never know. Just give them the benefit of the doubt and just open that dialogue for that conversation. So just wanted to mention that because I know, you know, all of our districts and all of our Google domains across the state, you know, everybody has different permissions on what's allowed and what's not and what's filtered and what's not and whatever. So just be aware of that if you're watching and how you're going to, you know, kind of navigate that, because there's definitely benefits to, it's worth it. It's what I'm trying to tell you in a very long, drawn out way. It's worth it to have the conversations with your technology department. So that's all I got to say on that. So let's talk PD. Are you ready to talk PD? Thank you, James. We appreciate it. Be sure to follow Mr. Collier. Are you Mr. Collier underscore or just Mr. Collier GCHS?
Mr. Collier GCHS.
Boom, there you go. Are you impressed that I knew that? Like I'm knowing all these Twitters off the top of my head.
That's pretty impressive.
I mean, listen, it's a steel trap right here, baby. I'm just kidding. It's actually not. It's actually a hot mess. It's a spider web of chaos up there. But anyway, thank you, Mr. Collier. I appreciate it. You enjoy your snow day, sir. Thank you for being on here with us.
Yes.
All right. So you girls ready to talk some PD? Now listen, we got some people out there, so don't hang up because we're not done yet. Do not hang up. Do not turn off Kentucky Go Digital Live yet, because we are going to share with you some ways that you can stay connected with these amazing educators that were on our panel. We've got lots of events coming up. So we're going to start with Elaine. Elaine, if you don't care, let's talk about Kentucky Go Digital Regionals that are coming up.
Yes, guys. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really quickly. Can you see it, B? Are you good? Okay, so we're in the works of a bunch of different regionals, and some of these dates, there are just a couple that are still to be determined, and we have some others that we need to reach out to and get those going. But you need to make sure that you save the date for these regional events. And regional events, remember, are free to attend, and they are PD credit. So make sure that you mark these on your calendar, or that you're following the hashtag if for some reason this date isn't ironed out and stuff. So make sure that you put these on your calendar. But we've got Region 1, which is the region I'm in. And so we've got that for May 24th. Now, we do have an alternative date that could happen just in case if we get a whole bunch of snow days. So which is possible, which would be to the 30th or 31st. So make sure you mark May 24th as is. Now, these things have not been scheduled for you to actually say, hey, I'm attending, or hey, I want to present. So if you're interested in attending, stay in the loop. There'll be a form that will come out soon, and then you can fill that out. If you want to present, there's going to be a form too. So that if you want to share some awesome tools that you're using, make sure that you keep your eyes peeled for that. So we also have for Region 2, which is the 29th, and that is coming up as well. But Region 3 is to be determined. So you need to contact Heather.
Hang on, time out. Region 2 is the to be determined region.
Oh, Region 3.
That's the GREC region. And so it's definitely going to be that same, it's going to be like July 11th, 12th, 10th. It's going to be right around in that area. So definitely block off those days. But we're going to be pushing out a finalized date in the coming days. So just pay attention. But I'm Region 2. Sorry, it gets confusing. We're still learning all the regions, so bear with us.
It is, and we're going to tweet out this again, so I don't want you to get too confused either. But we've got Region 3. We definitely need to, if you're interested in helping with that, contact Heather if you're interested. But we've got Region 7 and 8, which is in July 23rd coming up. And then, of course, we've got Region 6, which is Crystal, is May 29th. So make sure that you continue to reach out for these for these regionals and make sure you get involved, because that is how to get to be a part of this event and learn and even contribute too. So PD as well to do that. So keep your ears peeled and on that hashtag and stuff. And we're going to make it nice and clear for you so that you don't have to feel like you're getting confused. But
yeah. So our regionals, just to reiterate, we've got the JCPS day is going to be coming soon.
Yes.
Mommy's talking.
JCPS. So Jefferson County Public Schools, that is to be determined, and that's coming soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that date. It is coming and getting finalized right now.
Here's the thing, you guys, with regionals, they're so much fun. They're so exciting. Listen, we broke the internet at GREC last year. It was so much fun and so exciting. And the great thing about Kentucky Go Digital Regionals are we've got all these amazing people in this region in one room, and every single person has a track. There's an admin track. There's a library media track. There's a special education track. There's a social studies track. There's a math track. Every single thing is covered at these events. And so you just don't want to miss the collaboration that happens at these regional events. So you guys, please stay connected on the hashtag. Subscribe to the channel, because we talk about regionals all the time at the end of every single episode. So you will always be able to stay in the loop on that.
I don't want to forget, there are 6 different regional events that are across the state. So there is a place for everyone that is watching us right now. And also that you meet people in person, and Northern Kentucky is going to be announced too. I don't want to forget them as well. So yes, definitely. And you learn something in person.
Yes. I mean, it's the connections too that's just so powerful, and having the opportunity to, to be able to create.
It's free. It's all free.
Yes. Create together. Everybody loves the F word. It's free, being F word being free. Let me reiterate that. Can you please get that squeaker thing out of here? Okay. So I made Allison stay on here so that we could have her share about an upcoming professional development opportunity here in the state as well. Allison, you want to take it over?
Yep, I'm good. So this is my shameless plug for the Derby City Summit that is coming up. It is being hosted in Jefferson County at Louisville Male High School. If you have not been to an EdTech Team Summit, you need to make that a priority. It is probably, and I know several of the people that have presented today would tell you that was probably outside of the KY Go Digital opportunities. That's probably one of the single best opportunities to go to learn about all sorts of tech tools. I'm going to share my screen really quickly and show you literally, if you just Google search Derby City Summit, it takes you straight to the registration. There is still time to register, and they do offer a discounted rate if you take teams. I know last year, I have to give a shout out, North Hardin sent 36, I think, 33, 36 people to the summit that we hosted at John Hardin High School. So again, check it out. So many great tech tools, and connecting with other like-minded educators. It's definitely worth checking out.
For sure. Thank you, Allison. I will say for the EdTech Team Summits, one of my most favorite parts of the whole events are the keynotes. The educators that they bring in to keynote these conferences are just remarkable, and I always leave inspired. So thank you for sharing that. And last up, we have KISTI coming up in March. So be sure to check out the registration for the KISTI conference. I know for me, it feels like a family reunion getting to go to KISTI. That's March 6th and 7th. I got those dates right, correct? March 6th and 7th. I hope that's right. Maybe Google it to be sure, or search the Google. I better not say Google it. Search the Google for KISTI, because you don't want to miss that conference. It's in Louisville at the Galt House, and it is one of my favorite events as well. So, these are all 3 events that we have.
You're right. It's the 7th and 9th. 7th through the 9th.
7th through the 9th. Starts that Wednesday night with workshops, 8th and 9th.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for clarifying. So we're gonna have some Kentucky Go Digital people at all of these events, and just be marking your calendars as you guys start to develop your PD plans for your next school year, and even to finish out this school year. It's just a great opportunity. So, okay, so that's the end of our show for today. We said an hour and we went for 2 hours. So, I don't know. Should I say hashtag sorry, not sorry?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you guys for tuning in with us. And don't forget, please connect with us on Kentucky Go Digital on Twitter, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. You're going to be notified when Kentucky Go Digital goes live. And so those are episodes where we feature school and district leaders from across the state that are doing really remarkable things with digital tools in their schools and classrooms and districts. And we just wrapped up our January series, which was a part 2 on working smarter, not harder. And our next series is going to kick off on February the 2nd. And this is going to be all about digital tools for support staff. So we are going to start with Robin McCoy on February 2nd at 11 a.m. And she is with the Kentucky Department of Education. And so we're going to be talking about counselors and building capacity and connecting counselors together out there in the state as well. So it's going to be very exciting. So be sure to mark your calendars, tune in, hit subscribe, and connect with us on Facebook as well. We've got a Facebook page over on the Facebooks. So be sure to like our page to stay connected as you create, connect, and share with Kentucky Go Digital. You want to say bye? Can you say bye? That was a squeak. Let me translate. That says, farewell, Kentucky Go Digital. Thank you for tuning in.
Bye.
Get involved with Kentucky Go Digital. Attend regional events, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or follow us on Twitter.